Now, Numa Pompilius was the first king that Livy mentions who created the original Roman calendar, at least going by what Livy tells us. Now, before I go on, I request you to subscribe if you have not. In this channel, we explore ancient texts, and ancient texts here, I mean texts that have been around for thousands of years. So I request you to subscribe so that you don't miss a video when I upload, and of course that also helped me get a bigger audience. Now, Numa Pompilius, I've mentioned, ruled for like 42 years. It was quite some time. And during that time, he managed to make Rome more religious, and he achieved a lot with that. And in fact, he also made Rome to be revered by its neighbors. Before him, most of the neighboring nations considered Rome to be a menace. They had little good to say about the new city. But with Numa Pompilius coming to power, putting in place religious rites and orders and organization, and making people more interested in war and more interested in matters religion, Rome was impressed by the neighboring nations. But besides that, Numa Pompilius also did something else that is remarkable. When you read Livy's book From the Founding of the City, then he mentions that he's the first king he mentions, if we go by his order of things. After Romulus, and then there was a period where there was no king, and then there's Numa Pompilius. Numa Pompilius becomes the first Roman ruler who comes up with a calendar. So we can call it the original Roman calendar. And this calendar had 12 months, but Numa Pompilius was a well-read man, and Livy does mention that. In fact, later on, there were these rumors that he was a student of Pythagoras, which Livy says was not the case, but he was a very knowledgeable guy, this Numa Pompilius guy. So he seems to have understood matters heaven, like the sun and the moon and the movements they make. And he came up with this calendar of 12 months. But there was a problem, of course, like the one we deal with, which we have today when it comes to the leap year after every 4 years. He realized that when you do the 12 months, there is always 11 days. Is 12 months here. I'm talking about the 12 months that Numa Pompilius came up with. There were 11 days that always remained somehow. But he found a way of creating these months in such a way that after 20 years, everything was taken care of, and then the cycle starts again. I didn't really understand how that works because I'm not an expert when it comes to matters calendars, but that's what Livy tells us, that his calendar had these 7 days every year that will remain, but he had a way of creating the months so that these 7 days are taken care of in the period of 20 years, and then the cycle starts again. Besides creating this calendar, Numa Pompilius also designated specific days and dates for specific activities and celebrations. So he's kind of like the first king who put in place dates for specific celebrations and actions and activities in the Roman, now the Roman new state. Of course, the Romans were people from other societies. They were Trojans and other people from neighboring places there. They must have had their own calendars, I guess, and their own days to celebrate whatever they were celebrating there. But now Numa Pompilius comes up with what you can call the original Roman calendar and the original Roman cycle of events, you can say.